My name is Lawrence Wellington, and I would like to inform you about the current state of Urbia. My good friend Jacob has recently been accused of murdering 2 young girls. Now here's the thing. He told me that he was going to kill them, but there's no way it could have been him. Oh, that didn't come out right at all. I'll cut that. But listen, Jacob would not kill innocent people. I know my best friend. However, after he allegedly killed the girls, the city was sent into a panic. He was a local detective, and with him allegedly on the other side of the law, many people feel unsafe. Another concern we have is that most people don't believe that the Draggon exists. For those that don't know, the Draggon is a secret organization that has corrupted our government and rules our city from the shadows. Detective Julian died in order to defeat their former leaders, and Detective Jacob considered killing those girls because they were supposed to be appointed the new leaders. So now here I am. I'm no detective, but I'm making this documentary to prove Jacob's innocence. And also prove that the Draggon is real. And this is just a rough cut, for the record. Certainly not everything in here will make it into the final film. I'm currently trying to decide between 2 titles. The first one is, why the alleged murderer detective should get off the hook. I like that one, because it rolls right off the tongue. The other one is simple, it's pretty dramatic. I think it might be a winner. Hi, Miss Jackson. My name is Lawrence Wellington.
Oh, hi there, Lawrence. Blake and Julian both mentioned you from time to time. It's nice to put a face with a name.
Likewise. So, how's Blake?
Um,
Oh, my sincerest apologies. I'm still new to this whole documentary thing.
Documentary?
Oh, that reminds me. Is it okay if I record you for this documentary talking about Jacob and the Draggon?
I suppose so. Next time mention that in the email so I can be ready.
Oh, sure thing. And I will say, you are the first person I'm calling because you did witness your daughter's murders.
Thanks for the reminder.
Sorry if I'm coming across a bit...
Ignorant?
I was gonna say straightforward, but sure. Anyways, I was hoping you could provide some recollection of what happened that night.
There isn't much that I didn't tell the police. It was dark and I couldn't see a lot. Jacob walked over to my girls, and the next thing I knew...
Was Jacob carrying a firearm?
Not that I could see, but he was wearing a thick jacket, so he could have had one concealed.
Do you personally believe that Jacob killed your daughters?
I really don't know. I had only met him that night. If he's anything like Julian, he's a good man, but looks can be deceiving. I mean, he lost his brother a year ago. He might be emotionally unstable.
A valid point. But what happened right after the deaths of Amelia and Madeline?
I tried to run to them, but he pulled me away. He said we needed to get out of there immediately. We made it out of the park, then he called me a cab, then he ran off.
He was most likely trying to get you away from the attacker.
Maybe, but whether it was him or not, I'm focusing on moving on. So, I think that's all the questions I'll be answering today. Thank you.
Hi, you're speaking to Sam. It's Sam Spray Paint.
Hi, Sam. It's Lawrence. I'm here to ask you some questions about the documentary, as we discussed over email.
Hi, Laurel. Glad somebody's finally getting around to making a documentary about me. You know, I've been calling CNN for the past 15 years.
Very funny, Sam, but I'd like to get down to business.
Listen, Larry. I'm not very good with business. You know, my store hasn't turned a profit in 8 years. Please don't put that in my documentary.
Tell me about your interactions with Val the Vandal. He's a deceased member of the Draggon who purchased bombastic, bedazzling blue paint from the store.
Bombastic, bedazzling blue? Come on, that's only our 4th most popular color, after obscene, obnoxious orange, gratifyingly great green, and red. Everybody likes red, I don't get it.
Sam, Shortly before his death, you got a call from Detective Julian asking you for details about the purchase. Does that ring any bells?
Oh yeah, man. Let me tell you something. My bells are getting ringed hard. Very memorable guy, you know. I have a lot of sketchy characters enter my store, you know. Real sketchy people, you know, spray painters, gangsters, whatever. Let me tell you something. This man was the ugliest person that I've ever seen enter my store. I mean, he was just hideous. I can't even forget his face. I want to so badly, but I just can't.
Did he or Julian mention anything to you about the Draggon? I'm trying to prove that Val was a member of this organization.
Look, man, I think I would definitely remember if a frickin' dragon had flown into my shop. You know what? Actually, can you CGI that into my documentary? That would be sick.
According to Julian, Val was spray painting Dragon propaganda. Are you absolutely sure you didn't know anything about that?
Not a clue. Plus, the city government's making a big push to wash away all the graffiti. I have no idea why, but hey, it's just more canvas space for me and my customers, right? Hey, alright, Lana, hey, and keep me updated on my documentary. And tell all your friends to buy my paint. Alright, bye. Stupid idiot.
All this Dragon graffiti appeared in one wave right before George and Grant were killed. And that's because they were about to launch their grand plan. They were preparing to make their authority known. But as soon as Julian killed their leaders, they retreated. And the government, which is controlled by the Dragon, started washing away all of the graffiti, leaving no evidence. Speaking of George and Grant, maybe tracking down their family members might be a good way to prove that the Dragon exists. Let's do a scan for the Harrison family in this area and see where the closest relative is. What an interesting name.
Well, how do you do, you cool cat? You've reached the residence of the one and only Giff Harrison, but of course you already knew that because you are talking to me.
Hello, Mr. Harrison. I'd like to speak to you about your cousins, George and Grant.
Ah, you're the documentary kiddo. Okay, ask away.
Well, can you confirm to me on camera that you are the cousin of George and Grant Harrison? Your father, Gerald Harrison, is the brother of their father, Greg Harrison, correct?
Is ice cream and fish a shockingly tasty combination? I think so, yes.
Well then, please tell me everything you can about George and Grant.
Ah, those young'uns, they were always the white sheeps of the family.
You mean the black sheeps?
There's no need to bring race into this conversation, Lawrence. But yes, they were always oddballs. One of these days, they just disappeared, and the cops, they hardly even tried to find them. We all figured that they just went on some adventure, but we just couldn't find out the who, and the what, and the when, and the where, and the why.
So they disappeared off the grid, and no one could find them, including Urbia's police department, which I think is controlled by the Dragon. And then what happened next?
Next we found the names in the obituaries. No explanation, no body, nothing. Ew.
So you have no idea where they've been all these years, or how they died?
Nope.
Well, sir, I have on good authority that these two were the leaders of the Dragon, and they were killed by Detective Julian when he sacrificed himself to save the city.
That's impossible. Lies slither out of your throat like snakes out of a cave. The Dragon is fake, a conspiracy created to brush the deaths of my innocent cousins under the carpet.
Sir, I knew Julian very well, and I came to know his brother even better. I am certain of what happened. I was hoping you would agree, but clearly that's not the case. Well, is there anyone else in your family that would be willing to talk?
No. We all know this so-called Draggon is a hoax. Let me spell it out for ya. H-O-K-S-E. Hoax.
Are you certain that there's nobody else in your family that'd be willing to talk?
Let us mourn in peace, Lawrence.
It's a bit peculiar that Jacob would visit his father's home without any reason. Hello, ma'am. It's good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Lawrence.
I take it you don't have any updates on Jacob's whereabouts?
I know just as much as you do. We both saw him last at the same time. The night he and I stayed at your house. Jacob disappeared in the night, and unless you've figured out how to recover the security footage from your cameras, your guess is as good as mine.
Well, if you don't have any information about Jacob, do you know anything about the Draggon?
I do. That's what my son and I were running from the night we came to your house. And that's what my other son died trying to defeat. But if you're looking for me to prove it exists, I can't do it. My only information about the Draggon comes from my sons, and they've already lost their credibility.
Julian died for a city that doesn't even trust his word anymore.
The problem is, they don't have his word. When he died, he hoped people would be smart enough to realize that he did what he did to stop the Draggon. But he was wrong. You can't trust people to realize things are bad unless someone in authority apparently tells them things are bad.
And that's why I'm making this documentary. If I can seriously convince the citizens that their government is controlled by an evil organization, they'll finally take matters into their own hands and fight for themselves. So far, it's only been a handful of detectives fighting against this massive secret society.
I guess you're Urbia's new detective now, huh?
I guess I am. But Jacob may still come back.
I've spent too much of my life waiting for people to come back. It's just hard for me to hold out much hope that I'll see Jacob again.
I'll make you a promise, ma'am. I will find Jacob, no matter what. And I'm going to clear his name.
How can you be so sure?
Because I've got the skills to track down anyone, anywhere. I've learned from the two best detectives in the world. It's gonna be okay, Mrs. Oh, well, that's a little awkward, but what's your name?
My name is Joan.
What's your last name?
All these years and you never asked Jacob or Julian about their last name?
Well, what is it?
It's... Well, now you know. Okay, well, I think we're breaking up. Okay, talk to you later.
I've always wondered about their last name. What could it possibly be? It's never on the news. They've never spoken it. It's like they're characters in this weird story where the writer was too lazy to give them a last name. But that's a mystery for another day. Hello. It's a pleasure to finally meet you.
Hey, Lawrence. How's it going?
Good. I think you need to adjust your camera a little bit. Oh, wait, yeah. Oh, no, okay. We're good.
Can you see us?
Yes, ma'am. I'm calling to get some information for my documentary. It's about Jacob and the existence of the Draggon. From what I can recall, you two were Julian's first source of information about the Draggon. Can you tell me anything about it that you didn't tell him?
I don't know much, but I know once you're in the Draggon, it's impossible to leave. So assuming it's not a myth, I can tell you it's not going anywhere.
So all you've heard is myths and fables. You don't have any solid proof of their existence?
Even if he did, the Draggon would come after him anyway.
I understand. But that's all I wanted to ask.
Lawrence, I might have just one thing for you. A phone number of someone who might be in the Draggon. This is just speculation now, but give it a call, and good luck.
Thank you, sir. Just send it over. I wish you both a good day, and stay strong during these strange times.
Hey, what's up? How can I help you?
Hi, this is Lawrence Wellington. I'm a friend of Detective Jacob. I heard from his
Psych. You've reached the voicemail of Nicholas Samuels. If this is about my beef jerky business, you can order a variety of flavors online, including, but not limited to, spicy black pepper, original barbecue, and pepperoni. But if this is about my other business, I'm afraid I can't discuss this over the line. Have a good one.
Great. Just great. How's it going, Ivy?
Good, Lawrence. So this is about the dragon, right?
Well, yes. We'll start with the dragon. I know you have more information about them than anyone else. I wanted to save you for last so we could hit all the points home.
Yeah, I think I know more about the dragon than anyone else in the city. They captured me, they held me prisoner, and I watched their leaders die along with Julian.
So, tell me about your time being captured. What did the dragon members look like?
They were cops.
Oh, that's right. When did you realize it was the dragon that was behind your capture?
When the cops brought me to an alternative prison, it turned out to be the dragon's secret base. Then I was taken to Julian's office. They dropped me off, and that's when I met Jordan Grant.
And this prison that actually turned out to be their secret base, where is it? And what did it look like?
I was blindfolded during the transport, so I had no idea. All I saw was the inside of the base. It was enormous. No windows, and lots of members were roaming around. And cells where they kept their enemies.
Wow. So the people that captured you looked like regular cops? The place they took you to is a complete mystery? And the last time you saw any members of the Dragon, they blew up? So despite everything that you went through, you have no evidence at all?
Yep.
Well, in that case, let's switch to the other topic of this documentary. Detective Jacob. Reports say he was spotted at your house not too long ago.
Yeah, he came by. He said goodbye to me. He seemed different that night, and I hadn't heard from him since.
Just so we're clear, he visited you after he went missing?
Very shortly after. I had no idea he was supposed to be missing at that time.
I fear the Dragon captured him, and they're allowing him to say one final goodbye.
I pray that's not the case. Regardless, it's time for me to move on. From Julian, from Jacob, I need to find my own way.
Well, I wish you the best with that, Ivy. Some goddamn detective I am. I can't even find the most famous person in the city. I can't even prove the biggest threat of our city's history. Julian made this look so easy. Jacob made it look hard, but still possible. I can't live up to either of them. Wait! There's still one more person I can call. They might know something. Hey Timmy, let's cut to the chase. You were the one that exposed Jacob's location to the Dragon. Can you tell me anything about the Dragon members that confronted you?
Whoa, my day is going just fine. Thanks for asking. How is yours?
Not the best so far, but it would be really helpful if you could tell me anything about the Dragon.
Well, that depends on which dragon you're talking about. There's How to Train Your Dragon. I've trained 5. Lord of the Rings. That Smaron guy, I can't remember. Amazing work by Benedict Cumberbatch, if I do say so myself. There's Game of Thrones. There's the first dragon. There's the second dragon. There's the third dragon, which becomes the dead dragon. There's Pete's dragon. Let's be real. The 2016 version was much better. I didn't see it.
As much as I appreciate the pop culture lesson, I really need you to tell me about the Dragon. So those 2 men that cornered you and asked you about Jacob, tell me about them.
Well, one guy, if I can say anything about him, it's that I have no clue what he looks like. Completely black morph suit, head to toe. Spoke with some sort of voice modulator. Maybe. I've never heard him, so it could have been his normal voice. It could have been a man. It could have been a woman. It could have been a child. For all I know, it was a velociraptor, a giant, a rabbit, a monkey. His height was very confusing. Skin, could not tell you. This man was completely unrecognizable. In a crowd of one, I could not find him.
I sure hope you could find him in a crowd of one.
The point is, I have no recollection about a single detail of this man's physical features. I could not tell you if his head was the shape of a triangle or a circle, a square or a prism. I remember nothing about this man.
And the second guy?
Oh, the other guy? What do you mean? It's my buddy Garrett. You've met him like 7 times. Yeah, I mean, our first impression was a little bumpy, but after that, we got brunch every Sunday. For the past like 3 years, you've been to these. I spent every Thanksgiving and Christmas with Garrett and his family. What? How have you not met him?
And you couldn't have told me that sooner?
Sometimes, Lawrence, a story is better with a little build-up. Don't worry. I'll send you his number. Tell him Timmy sent you. He'll hook you up real nice.
Thank you, Timmy. Have a good one.
Hey, Lawrence, quick question. When do you stop becoming all prim and proper and condescending and, oh, I'm better than you because I have money and my house is big. And I didn't work for any of this, but my parents did, and so now I'm cool. You know, like that.
When Julian died, it put a lot of things in perspective for me. I realized life is an invaluable gift. Julian spent it helping others, and I decided I wanted to do the same.
You know, that reminds me of a number, several hundred, by the way, of fictional characters that had redeeming story arcs after the death of their friends. Where should we start?
I'm sure it does, Timmy, but I really don't have time for that. Have a good day.
Who is this?
Hello, my name is Lawrence Wellington, and I'm here to ask you a few questions.
Look, I work with some extremely dangerous people. I mean, if I told you what I know, you and I would both be in a lot of danger.
Really? Even though I'm a friend of Timmy Sanders?
Oh, Timmy? You know Timmy? He's the greatest, kindest, most emotionally intelligent man that I know.
Right. I feel the same way.
Timmy took me out of a very dark place in my life. I felt terrible because for years I've been working for the Draggon, but he actually kind of helped me feel like the Draggon sort of worked for me.
Even though it doesn't.
Oh, no, not whatsoever. Anyways, what do you need, my man? Any friend of Timmy's is a friend of mine.
Could you just tell me a bit more about the Draggon?
This is just between you and me, right?
Of course.
Well, they're 100% real, without a shadow of the doubt. I was inducted at a young age. I thought it was a good cause. And then I realized their plan. Using Urbia as a staging ground for taking over neighborhood cities, then states, and eventually, at least in theory, the world. No matter how good their ideals are, I knew that wasn't right. And then I discovered their methods. I mean, torture, murder, corruption. It's not right, but they would never let me leave with all their secrets. So here I am.
Perfect. That's perfect. Can you tell me more? Like the names of other Dragon members, perhaps, or maybe their secret base.
I can't give out specifics. I'm sorry. Not even to Timmy. And I tell Timmy everything. You gotta love that guy. He just sits and listens.
Sure. Well, there is one specific thing I need to know. Where is Jacob? I've been trying to reach him for some time now.
Oh, Jacob? I can't tell you. And I don't know how to reach him. They don't tell us things like that. But I can give you the number of someone who does. Our assassin.
The assassin can get me in touch with Jacob?
Maybe. No promises, but he is the closest link to Jacob.
Send me his number. Also, what would happen, theoretically, if the Dragon found out you gave me this number?
Immediate execution, of course. Or eternal imprisonment. But if you're a friend of Timmy's, I trust the information won't be shared. He really surrounds himself with people who have a high standard of moral integrity. Really, great guy.
Thank you, Garrett. This will be a huge help.
Oh, my pleasure.
Who the hell is this?
I need you to not hang up when I tell you.
I'm blocking you in 3 seconds if you don't state your name and intentions.
My name is Lawrence Wellington, and I'm calling to make sure my best friend is safe.
I'm thoroughly surprised you managed to get this number. Either you're a half-decent detective, or the Dragon has a weak link. Do you honestly expect me to tell you Jacob's whereabouts?
Please, I need to know he's okay, and I need to prove he didn't kill those girls.
Let me tell you this. If you're worried about Jacob's public image, you can stop. He will not be a member of the public any longer.
Just tell me where he is. I know you exist, and I can prove that you exist. And I wouldn't be surprised if you guys try to kill me sometime soon. Or bring me to your secret prison base. So what harm does it do to tell me one more simple fact?
I don't have the authority to decide whether or not you may know Jacob's location, but I can transfer you to someone who does.
Hello?
Jacob, oh my god, it's you! Where are you? Do you need help? What have they done to you?
I'm fine, Lawrence. How did you get a hold of me?
That's a long story for another time, but tell me about you. Has the Dragon captured you?
No, I'm not captured. Something very different has happened.
You're kind of scaring me, Jacob. What is it?
Before I tell you, I need to know exactly what you plan to do with this information.
Well, I've taken the liberty to create a documentary, proving that the Dragon exists and trying to clear your name.
You're a good man, Lawrence, but I'm gonna need you to promise me on your life that you'll drop this. All of it.
What?
I don't need my name cleared, and the existence of the Dragon cannot and will not be proven. They must remain no more than a myth for the time being.
Jacob, you're making it sound like you're a member of the Dragon.
You're my friend. You've been beyond loyal to me, and it means something that you're still fighting for this cause. But I need you to drop it. Scrap the whole film. And if you ever cared about me, you will never ever repeat or share or publish what I'm about to tell you.
Fine.
I need to hear your word, Lawrence.
I promise.
I am the leader of the Dragon.
Are you insane?
I became their leader the night that I disappeared. They wanted me and Julian as leaders, hence why they never killed either of us. But after Julian died, they decided they still wanted me.
Why would you join them? Why would you abandon our cause, your brother's cause? What incentive did they offer you?
In exchange for my leadership, they told me the true story of my father. He's alive, and if I hadn't joined them, they would have rained hell on Urbia.
And exposed their whole operation? They wouldn't dare.
I couldn't take that risk, Lawrence. They left me no choice. They're too powerful.
So what happens now? How can I help you escape?
Well, I've come to realize something, I'm afraid, and you're not going to like it. I believe the Dragon is a force for good.
They've brainwashed you, haven't they?
No, I assure you. They stand for unity and order.
They want world domination.
Domination is not inherently bad. All they want is to unify the world and lead it into a new era of prosperity.
So far, all I've seen them do is kill people.
The ends justify the means, Lawrence. I've seen their full plans. It's absolutely breathtaking. If every detail is executed precisely to perfection, then we could enter a new era of global peace.
Do you understand that a global dictatorship is what you're proposing? People have tried throughout history to rule the world, but it never works. One entity controlling 8 billion people. That's not how it's supposed to be.
But what if it is? What if by killing a few thousand people on the way, we're able to end all wars, leave no human being hungry, save millions and millions of lives? Once the Dragon spreads, it will contain representatives from every culture across the world. It will be the ultimate culmination of the human race, and it will lead all of mankind into a perfect utopia.
And what do you do if people revolt or people rebel? What happens when the citizens of the world decide they don't like how the Dragon is running things?
Then they will be killed. We can't allow some rebels to ruin the utopia for everyone.
Where does it end, Jacob? Where does the Dragon draw the line to where its enemies don't need to be killed?
An enemy of the Dragon is an enemy of peace. Anyone who opposes peace supports war, and we cannot stand for war.
This is unbelievable.
Lawrence, this is an act of love. The Dragon is not a dictatorship. It does not want to force beliefs on anyone. It doesn't want to cleanse mankind of any sort of person. All are welcome, all are accepted, all are loved, except for those who oppose that very principle of unity, those who defy the inherent good of togetherness.
How could you possibly change so quickly?
I never changed, Lawrence. I simply realized my perception of the Dragon was wrong. They practically killed my brother, so I had a fierce vengeance against them. Their methods were extreme, so I assumed they were evil, but in discovering their true plans and true purpose, I realized I was standing on the wrong side of history.
So what happens to me?
You will be spared. You still remain my friend, and I won't allow anything to happen to you, but if you publish this little project of yours, I will absolutely consider you a traitor. You will be dealt with, and the Dragon will easily erase your evidence from existence. If this plan falls even a hair out of place, it will not work to its fullest potential.
You're actually evil now. Just like that, after everything we fought for. You've joined the enemy we swore to destroy. I gave up my life to fight for you. Do you realize that?
You can still fight for me. You can join the Dragon.
I'd rather die.
Very well.
So what happened to your father?
I think to say you've got some explaining to do would be an understatement.
I suppose it's due time I told my son the truth.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Well, all those years ago when I left, it wasn't for the reason you think.
Are you sure it wasn't because you just needed a nice long break from your family?
No. It was because I joined the Dragon.
What?
I was forced into it. It broke my heart not to tell you the truth, because I knew you'd all have targets on your back if I did. I purchased a home nearby so I could keep watch on you while serving the Dragon.
And you couldn't visit us? Not even once?
Oh, I did. Many times. I used a drug developed by the Dragon to ensure you forgot our interactions.
So you drugged us?
So I could see you. It was harmless. It simply made you forget the last 5 minutes. So I had to keep our interactions short.
I think Julian actually remembers some of those interactions, but he just dismissed those as daydreams. Why don't I remember any?
I think Julian needed those moments more than you did. His mind latched onto them.
Yeah, probably. So you erased yourself from our lives, so that we wouldn't find out you were in the Dragon. But then, when Julian went to your house, he came back saying you had a heart attack.
Yes, I eventually decided to fake my death.
Why?
Because it was the only way to leave the Dragon. They never let any of their members leave alive. So I had to die. After several years of planning, I perfectly staged a heart attack. I faked the medical reports and convinced the Dragon and everyone else that I was dead. It wasn't easy, and I believe they have a hunch I'm still around. I may be the only one to ever successfully escape the Dragon.
So you escaped them, and now you just live in that house alone and visit us without us knowing it?
No. Now I'm the main resistance against the Dragon. You and your brother and Lawrence may have never noticed, but I've been helping you all along in secrecy. For years I've been fighting the Dragon, taking down their members and foiling their operations without them knowing it's me.
You won't be able to beat the Dragon. They have a very complex plan, far more meticulous than their past attempts. It'll take several decades before it's ready. But when it is, they will conquer Urbia in a matter of days. The neighboring states, within weeks. And then in only a few years, the world will be at the mercy of the Dragon.
I never doubted you were a good detective. But how on earth did you figure that out?
Well, Dad, I'm the leader of the Dragon.
You disgrace me, son. When it's time for your plan to launch, I'll be there to stop it.
One man cannot possibly stand in our way.
That one man is your father, and you'll have to kill me to succeed.
Wow. So, what happens now, Jacob?
Now, you keep the city safe. I trust Urbia is in good hands, Detective Wellington. But under no circumstances should you try to stop the dragon. It's beyond your reach. Tell my mother I love her, and tell Ivy I'm grateful for all she did for me and Julian. I'll most likely visit them the same way my father visited me. Lawrence, I'm afraid this will be the last time we ever speak. As part of my leadership role, I have to completely disappear off the grid. Don't share anything I've told you. Don't try to dig anymore. And don't ever try to find me. You won't.
Well, it's been nice knowing you.
When the dragon is ready, I will make myself known again, and we will lead the world into an era of tranquility and harmony. And if my father tries to oppose me, I will do what I have to do.
So I guess this is it. The end of my little movie. So I'm just gonna leave all this stuff on the cutting room floor. No one's gonna know the truth except me. One of these days, the dragon might just take over the world. And there's nothing I can do to stop it. But I can get used to Detective Wellington. I like the sound of that. Hello?
Hi, Lawrence.
Do I know you?
I'm Jacob's father. Will you join my underground resistance against the dragon?
Of course.
Okay, now I'm going to switch to the other photo, which I don't know how to do. How do I get out of that? Okay.
They captured me, held me prisoner, and I watched their leaders die along with Julian.
No. What?
I think to say you've got some explaining to do would be an understatement. I think to say you've got some explaining to do. Good lord. What is happening here?
Alright, this is line 2. Oh yeah, I changed them up a little bit. You can't stop me.
So I was getting dinner last night. I was driving by it, and there's like 30 people all eating ice cream and talking. I'm like, you're gonna die.
Okay. Just for the record, I do not condone asking anybody this about their dead son.
Is ice cream and fish a shockingly tasty combination? Oh no. Everything fell apart there for a second. Hold on.
What?
I want to try a lollipop.
Do you have like a big vent going on right now?
Can you hear it?
This is line 6. That was not line 6, but I'm gonna send it to you anyway.
So
You're so good.
You surprised I can remember that much?
One of these days, the cops just no.
Like people like, I need a haircut. Like, so you're gonna force people to go work so you can get a haircut? Like, are you just a selfish turd?
Alright, this was not in the script you sent me. It's an extra line. I figured you needed me to say bye or something to Lawrence on the phone, so I thought I'd add it.